Hello, welcome to the Lisa Loves Yarn knitting podcast. My name is Lisa. I'm coming to you from the north side of Brisbane in Queensland, Australia. And I've tried this about 10 times and keep failing, so fingers crossed today's recording goes up. Because when I record it's cutting out after about 10 minutes or so, I'm just going to break my podcast up into segments and then we'll go from there and we'll see how that works, because each time I try to load a big file it fails, which I'm sure other podcasters share the same problem. So, how to find me? You can find me on Instagram as Lisa Loves Yarn, or on Ravelry as Lisa Loves Yarn 76. And this podcast is mainly about knitting, but it will include some spinning and other crafts like sewing and such. So I'm going to break this one up. This video is going to be about my finished objects and whips. So hopefully I get both of those in today. So my finished object, which I'm wearing, although it is a bit hot today, it's I think going to get to about 28 degrees here in Brisbane, so I'm looking forward to the cooler weather coming. This is the my sister's shawl MCAL that I participated in, and that is run by the Cozy Up Knits Designs, and you can find their podcast, Cozy Up with the Stitchin' Sisters, on YouTube. And they are 4 sisters from Grand Prairie, Canada: Jamie, Sarah, Katie and Chrissy. Katie and Chrissy are twins, and are so jealous that they have sisters to knit with. But yeah, they come out with some most beautiful patterns, and I decided the 1st of January we cast on, I thought it'd be fun to participate in a mystery knit along. So, and it's just fun to share in with everyone else around the world that's knitting the same thing, and you get to see everyone's colour choices, which is amazing. So I really enjoyed it. So this shawl is very long and it's tapered at the ends. It's sort of a rectangular shape, and then it goes down at each end. And the yarn I'm using is from Ginger Snap That. She's Ginger Snap That one on Instagram, and she has an Etsy store, and she sells yarn, hand-dyed yarn, dingle dops or little progress keepers, and knitting project bags, which are really fun. So definitely check out her shop. The kit that I bought off her is called Pretty in Pink, and it has 3 colours. The speckles is Pretty in Pink, the pink is Blush, I think, and this one is Berry. So the shawl has a number of different sections. So there's this beautiful open weave type lace here, and then eyelets and a bit of garter in the middle. And then it comes up to this beautiful lazy zags, which I was totally impressed, because I've never successfully knit lace, and ta-da, I have lace. So this shawl is super long and super cozy and lovely and soft, and perfect for really cold winters. You could just loop it through or wrap it around 2 or 3 times, and it's just beautiful, nice and cozy, perfect for those cold winter days if you're going for a walk outside or whatever. Not that it gets that cold in Brisbane, but hey, I don't care. So that's my finished object, and it was nice to start the year doing the MCAL, because at least you know within 4 to 5 weeks you're guaranteed to have a finished object, because sometimes it feels like you're never going to get there. So this was so much fun to participate in, and the girls at the moment are having a cotton make along, so check out their Instagram page, and you can find them on Ravelry as Cozy Up Knits, and they have a group as well, and check that out, because they're always having something fun on. So yeah, so that's my finished object. I have another finished object. I had a niece who was born in January, and so I've made her a dress, which can be, I guess, for like even warmer weather, because it's sleeveless. This is the Little Rosebud dress by OGE Designs. And it has this beautiful Norwegian fur lace pattern down the side and down the arms. and it's garter, but you knit it in the round from the top down, and I just love it. It was a simple pattern and perfect for a beginner, advanced beginner knitter, and just a lovely little dress. And you know, in warmer weather she could just wear it without a shirt underneath, or otherwise in winter she could have leggings and a long sleeve shirt underneath, which would just go perfectly with that. So that's really cute. Definitely recommend it. This one is a 12-month size, and it goes from newborn right through to I think about 4 years of age or something like that. I might try making one of these in cotton. This is in Bellissimo Extra Fine Merino, Australian and New Zealand Merino. It's spun in Italy, and it's in the lilac colourway, which I think is called 226. And it's just, I got this yarn at Skein Sisters in Sydney, and it's just beautiful. I love it. So that's my 2 finished objects. So I still need to block this, and once I block it, I will pop it in the post to my niece. But we've got our knitting group tomorrow, the Northside Brisbane Northside Knitters and Crocheters, and I host a group at Everton Park Spotlight, and I'm meeting the ladies in my group tomorrow, and so I'll show them my finished object, and then I'll block it and post it to my niece next week. So that's really good, especially as winter's coming soon. So, but obviously she's only just been born, so it'll probably be not fitted till the end of the year anyway. So what am I saying? I'm going crazy. Oh, I wanted to say I still had some leftover yarn from the My Sister's Shawl MCAL. So I'm thinking I've been making I've cast on 2 baby newborn vertebrae cardigans, and I think there'd be enough yarn in this to do that, so stay tuned with that one. Okay, so whips. Let's get on to whips before this video runs out on me. So, firstly I had this yarn that I got in Tasmania last year. It's hand dyed by a local lady to Hobart. However, they didn't provide any details for the dyer, which is unfortunate, but it is beautiful green and bright blue and darker blue speckles with white background, and just really lovely. And it's just fingering weight yarn, sock yarn, and this is the newborn vertebrae cardigan. So I'll just show you. So I've cast off for the little sleeves, and I've done the full length of the body now. So now I just need to knit the sort of like the band that goes around the outside and around the collar, and then knit the little sleeves. And I didn't have, the needle size was 2.75 millimeter, I think, and then you have to drop down to anyway, I can't remember. Have a look on the Ravelry page for newborn vertebrae, it'll have the needle sizes there. Anyway, I didn't have the smaller needles for the sleeves, so I went online to Yay for Yarn. So if you check it out, yayforyarn.com.au, they're a local online yarn store to me, and they've got really fast postal service. They got me the needles the next day. I ordered it in the morning, and then the next day I had it in the post. So I was quite impressed with that. Normally I get things within about 3 days from them, but this came along the next morning, so I was quite impressed with that. So yeah, so this is going to be for my little great nephew that's due to be born in the next fortnight. So I need to get this done. But I mean, this only took me 2 days of just knitting in the evening to get done, and a bit at lunchtime at work. So definitely a quick knit. And I think this is going to become my sock pattern on the needles, for something easy to have on the needles that you can do on the run, and just put them away for gifts, really, if you find you need a gift for a baby shower or something. That's the smaller size, is the newborn size. I wouldn't mind trying to work out how to make it for a preemie, and maybe donate some to the local hospital for preemies, because preemies need skin-to-skin contact with mum, and this doesn't cover the chest, it just goes around under the arms and down and keeps baby's back and arms warm, and allows for skin-to-skin contact with mum and dad, and also if they spit up or whatever, mum doesn't have to wash it all the time. And being that it's sock yarn, it's hard wearing and you can throw it in the washing machine, you don't have to be delicate with it. So that's that one. And then I cut, while I was thinking the needles would take a few days to come, I cast on another one in some yarn that I got from Olan, O-L-A-N-N. She's in Ireland, and she has the most beautiful yarn. I found this at Skein Sisters as well during the Australia Day long weekend. We went down to Canberra and then went up to the Blue Mountains and then down to Sydney before flying back to Brisbane. And so I stopped in at Dulwich Hill at Skein Sisters and saw this yarn, and I didn't know what I would make with it, but it was just so pretty. I normally don't go for purple, but this just caught my eye, and I just love the splashes of colour. Like, it's just so pretty. It's a sock yarn, fingering weight, and I think it's 80-20. So yeah, and it's called Archaic. The colourway is called Archaic, and it's just beautiful. So this will obviously be for a little girl, I think. So I've just cast off the sleeves, and now I've just got to work the body the same as the other one, and then just go around the edge, do the sleeves, and it's done. So probably I'll have both done by next week. Which, if you are feeling down because you don't finish anything for ages, do one of these. You get instant satisfaction because you get it done within a few days. So really recommend this one. Being that my video is still going and it hasn't died on me, they're my only two whips that I've got going at the moment, apart from, I'll just quickly show you. I have my, oh, totally forgot. How could I forget? Recently I sent Laura Nicholson, and if you look her up, she's Laura Nicholson on Instagram, and I think maybe Ravelry now. And she has a podcast. I don't know if she's changed her name to Laura Nicholson or look for Lola Star Creates. Anyway, she started spinning, and she's amazing because I've been trying stop-start to spin for a couple of years and I'm hopeless at it. But anyway, she's been doing it for 8 weeks and now she's spinning amazing skeins of yarn. I'm totally impressed. But she said she'd run out on her podcast. She mentioned that she'd run out of roving, and I have like heaps of roving. So I thought I'll post her down some. So I sent some down to her, about 1.8 kilos of plain white 100% Australian merino roving. And then the other day in the mail I got this beautiful unicorn project bag off her that she made, and it's got a lovely thick handle, and it's got this beautiful like mermaid fabric on the inside, and it's currently got my 2 newborn vertebrae cardigan works in progress in there, and that's 2 skeins. So it's a really roomy little zippered pouch, and yeah, it's got a blue zipper. It's very nice. I love the unicorns. So thank you, Laura. I really, really love it, and thank you so much. I appreciate that. So my other whip is in my Creative Garage bag. I think it's a 2-story garage, and it's like a TARDIS. It fits, you could fit heaps of, it's a sweater bag. You could fit heaps in. You could probably fit 2 sweaters in here. It's so huge. Anyway, I started the Mild Mania sweater, and I thought I'd start off using the brightest colour I own, which is Pig Face by Dingo Dye Works. And it is to die for. It is so soft and lovely. And at first I had trouble with the increases because it left a bigger gap, but I was doing it wrong in the end. But I checked on Instagram, and Vanessa Kind from My Creative Garage got back to me that she was doing the same one, and she said there is a little gap that it leaves at the increases, but that's to be expected, so it's all fine. So this is working down the yoke, and it's super loose and stretchy, but it's nice and soft, so that'll be perfect for winter. And hey, you're not going to lose me, are you? Because I'll stand out in a crowd. I'll pretty much glow in the dark. So it's a great way. It's just 2 fingering weight skeins held together as you knit, and it knits up quite fast. But I haven't been working on that while I've been doing the other little little rosebud dress and the cardigans. So yeah, so that's my whips, and seeing as the video isn't looking like it's going to die on me, I'm going to forge ahead and see how far I get, and then if I need to I'll put another video in to do a second part. So I do have another whip which I don't have on me. I might show you next time, but my lovely friend Avi from Switzerland sent me this pattern from Lang Yarns, and it's for the Puno alpaca, and she sent me the beautiful pink gradient yarn, so you can see it there. Oh my gosh, it is divine. It is so soft and fine and luxurious, really, really beautiful. And the pattern I chose is this one that is just a simple scarf, just stocking it all the way till you run out of yarn, I guess. And it does have like a little split hole here for, like, you could put your arm through it like she has here, or you could put the other end through the hole, or just drape it around your shoulders, or even on the back. Not that it would go around my waist, but if you were thin enough, it would go around your waist like a belt when you didn't want to wear it. So yeah, thank you so much, Evie. I really, really love it, and it's just a nice relaxing knit because it's just stocking it all the way. So next time I'll definitely show you it, but I've got it over there, so I forgot to bring it over. But anyway, I'll show you next time. So that's all the whips done. As I mentioned, Laura's been spinning, so she inspired me to give it another go and see how I go. And she did suggest, and other people have said to me, to try spinning 15 minutes per day. Well, I haven't done exactly every day, but at least a couple of times a week I'm doing 15 to 20 minutes spinning, albeit not that great. So my first attempt was, I use an Ashford traditional as well, and it's just a single treadle. I would like to eventually get a double treadle because I think that would be easier. So this is the 100% pure Australian merino that I had, and another natural colour, undyed roving, but I'm not sure where that come from. So I just thought I'd have a practice. So it's not great, but hey, I'm a beginner. So that was my first start. And then another lady at the Art and Craft Cottage in Ipswich, when I went there ages and ages ago, there was a lady there spinning, and she was still learning. So she had been told, and was finding good success with it, was to find a loose spun yarn, commercial yarn, and just run that through the spinning wheel over and over and over again, because instead of having to stress about drafting, all you're doing is worrying about getting the rhythm with the treadle and just feeding it through onto the bobbin. So that's the yarn there. It's not spun by me, it's just, I just put it through onto the bobbin just to practice. And I've got another bobbin, so I'll put a fresh one on, and then I'll just run this through again and again and again till I get comfortable with that rhythm and get used to that bit, because it's kind of, spinning is kind of like patting your head and rubbing your tummy at the same time. And so it's a little bit daunting when you begin to worrying about drafting and then making sure there's enough twist and getting used to adjusting your spinning wheel. So I'm trying my best to learn to spin, and maybe later on when I get a bit better I might do another class. I did do a class a few years back, about 4 years ago, but I was a bit out of my depth. I really didn't know. Other people pick it up naturally and I don't. So it's one of those things. I will get it in the end, but I just have to persevere, just like when I wanted to learn how to knit socks and I thought it was too hard, but I kept trying and trying and trying, and eventually I succeeded. So yeah, so that's that. So I'll just quickly talk about some yarn that I recently acquired. recently because I had all my stuff down in the garage and had a bit of a fright when I found there was cloth-eating moths down there, and luckily they'd only attacked my old crappy cheapo, well not cheapo but really old yarn that I was never going to use again anyway, so that was devastating. So I quickly brought all of my other yarn up, which luckily I had in sealed containers, and it's upstairs now and I'm going to get some moth traps. So luckily it hasn't touched my good stuff. Whew. Dodged a bullet there. But I needed some storage, and I don't want to lift heavy things or have to wait for someone to lift a heavy bucket down with all my stuff in, and then you can't see what's in there because it's all piled on top of each other and you've got to look through everything. So when I went to the reject shop, which is our version of a dollar store, I found these shoe storage containers that I suppose technically hold 4 pair of shoes for $15, and they're clear, they're shallow, they're stackable, and you can roll them under your bed or in your cupboard or whatever, and you can easily see what's in them without having to pull things out to see what's underneath. So this is the container. So I've got quite a bit of yarn in there, and I can see straight away what's in there. And also, if you wanted to, you could break it up into projects. So you can put projects in each compartment, and then you can just go to that compartment and grab out that project when you're ready and put your pattern there or whatever. So I'll just take the lid off. I'll just show you what I've recently acquired. So Laura Nicholson very kindly, and I mean, I was impressed with the project bag. And then how amazing is this? She spun me and hand dyed this beautiful yarn. Oh my gosh, I'm amazed. And it's like pale pinks and mint green, my favourite colours, and even just a hint of like blue in there really, and oh, it's just a little bit of yellow. Oh my gosh, it is beautiful. Thank you, Laura. So I'm not sure what to make with this yet, but I'm thinking, because it's nice and chunky, either a cowl or maybe a beanie, a hat. So we'll see. Yeah, I am absolutely impressed. So that is wonderful. Beautiful hand-dyed, hand-spun yarn. Now, I have, recently I was watching the Grocery Girls podcast, and I think it was the Grocery Girls, and they mentioned Trailing Clouds hand-dyed self-striping yarn, and the lady who does the dyeing is from the UK, and she has this colourway which you have to pre-order, and she'll hand dye it up once you order, and it takes a couple of weeks, and I'm not sure how long she'll offer it for, but it's called Mind the Gap, and it's striped. All the stripes are colours off the London Underground, all the different lines. It's totally cool. I love it. Look at all of those colours. Oh my. There's like bright blue and that tealy green and red and orange and yellow. These will be a really fun pair of socks. So I got that, and it's soft too. It smells sweet, and it is 425 metres or 464 yards, 100 grams, 75% wool, 25% nylon, and the wool content of this yarn is pure British Blueface Leicester, and yeah, the colours are just to die for. So I'm looking forward to knitting these up. I think I'm just going to do a vanilla pair of socks, because I think you just let the yarn do the talking with this one. It's just divine. So definitely check out Trailing Clouds. She's on Etsy, and she's based in the UK. And the price was reasonable with a good postage. Like some places charge too much for postage, but being the country that they come from, not because they're charging too much, but I find the exchange rate's better with Britain than like I can't get from America as often, because it's just too expensive. It's more than the cost of the yarn to post it. So that is beautiful. And then recently, we in our group, we decided last year we had our first competition, which was shawls. And this year it's mittens, gloves or fingerless gloves. So I'm going to make the Julkveld mittens by Ellie of Skeindir. And she has a wonderful podcast that I love to follow. It's called Skeindir. And she's a Norwegian living in London. And she just has been designing the most beautiful colourwork mittens and now socks. And also she recently designed a colourwork sweater. So I ordered this yarn from Wild and Woolly in London because they had kits that come with a code to get the pattern for free as part of the kit. So this is Jamieson and Smith 100% Shetland wool from the Shetland Islands, and this shade is 1403 and it's a beautiful rich red. It's just beautiful. And then I've got this Ecru colourway, which is shade 202, and it's just a natural sort of colour, off-white. And then this rich forest green, it's just beautiful. It's shade 34 from Jamieson and Smith. And I'll just see if I can get the colour. There we go. Beautiful. So, oops. The mittens, if you look up the Julkveld mittens, I think it's Julkveld, they are to die for. They're Christmas themed, and they have like Christmas trees and a little dog and a little cat on the hand, and then a little tree coming up on the mitten, and just a beautiful, beautiful picture in the colourwork. And I've never done colourwork, so why not go for gold and do a really difficult, for me, very difficult pattern. But we'll see how I go. So that's for the competition that we're having in, I think it's October this year. So we'll see how I go. When I was at Skein Sisters, I also purchased some, this is Blacker Swan Falkland Islands wool from Swan Inlet Farm, DK weight, 100% pure new wool, and it's made in Cornwall. And this is worsted spun merino with Shetland in the shade Dolphin. It's like a deep grey. It's really lovely and very, very soft. Very nice. Even though it's woolly wool, it's extremely soft. And yeah, just beautiful. So I was going to make my nephew that's arriving the next 2 weeks something out of this, but in the end I changed my mind. I just wasn't feeling it, so I'll use this for something else. It's a really lovely wool. And in the same brand, in the shade Cinnamon Grass, I got 2 balls of this one, which is sort of a naturally sandy colour. It's just lovely. So I'm not sure what I'll do with those, but at some stage they will get knit up into something. So that's all of my acquisitions. Now, I can't believe I'm getting this video done, truly. I hope this loads properly. So let's just move on. That's all the yarny related goodness. And now I'm just going to show you some of the fabric I recently purchased. I recently acquired a Singer overlocker and wanted to have a go at making more clothing and garments. And I thought a good way to start is with some knit fabric and making up little baby leggings, because they're small and should be straightforward. The pattern that I had some fabric that's got little whales on and then the pattern was a bit vague, and because I've not made them before, I was so impressed. I even adjusted the overlocker and it's so beautifully, absolutely perfect. But I sewed the wrong bits together. It had 2 fronts and 2 backs, and I should have put 1 front with 1 back and 1 front with 1 back, and then you join the 2 sides together. But instead I put 2 fronts and 2 backs sewn to each other, so then it wouldn't match up. So, and obviously you can't really unpick an overlocker because it's already cut, the fabric, so it's smaller than what it is. So luckily I cut 2 lots, so I'm going to have another go, and when I get that done I will post it on Instagram, and I'll also show you in my next podcast if I get that done. So I also picked up recently, they had a sale on it, Spotlight on fabric, on knit fabric. So I got this cute unicorn knit fabric stretchy for some leggings. How cute is that? Little butterflies and unicorns and little flowers. So pretty. And a little rainbow with love hearts. Anyway, so that's going to be really cute. And then I couldn't resist this monster fabric. And I totally love this guy. He's so cute. So I thought I'll try and make some leggings for my little nephew. I've got another little nephew who's a bit older. He's nearly 2. I might try and see if I can make him something because I've got heaps of fabric because they had the end of the roll, so it was super cheap. I think the whole lot cost me $15. So. And then I got this really sweet baby knit fabric. Checking, I don't know if it's that. Oh, it's a bit stretchy, yeah. And it's this lovely Bambi type fabric. Just a nice soft cream with a little Bambi and sniffing all the flowers, sort of a springtime theme. And even though it's coming into our winter, I just couldn't resist. It's just really soft fabric and it's just so sweet. So that was that. When we went away for Australia Day weekend to Canberra, and then we went to the Blue Mountains and there was a quilt shop. So on the way back to the car, I went into the quilt shop and I found this lovely panel of fabric to make a fabric book, and it's all Australian themed. So it's got native animals, Aboriginal artwork and different things related to Australia, going through the alphabet. So it's just lovely. So I got that, and you just put some bamboo batting in between and make up a little book. So I thought I might give that a go and give that to one of my nephews. So that's everything. I think that's everything. Oh my gosh. I actually got through everything without the video dying. How amazing is that? So, whilst we've got a little bit of extra time, and if you want, you can stay and listen. Otherwise, that's all for today, and thank you so much for coming. Thank you to, I forgot to say before, thank you to all my new viewers and anyone who is returning. I really appreciate you coming along to watch my podcast. I hope to see you again next time. So, just a little backstory. I did try and make a video podcast after Christmas in January. However, I didn't get time, and then just before we went away for the Australia Day long weekend, which is the 26th of January, I pulled my back out, which goes out fairly regularly, and I'm in chronic pain with it. And anyway, I went to the physio and I thought it was going to get better, and then when the day we were going, I sneezed, and it's as simple as a sneeze, and those who have a bad back will know my pain. I wasn't prepared for the sneeze. It came out of the blue, and I didn't brace myself for it, and it made my back worse because the jarring of sneezing pulled my back out worse. I didn't have time to go to the physio. I didn't have the appropriate pain medication except for Panadol and Nurofen, which when you're really bad with your back, it just doesn't cut it when it's spasming and it's just really aggravated. So anyway, we travelled to Canberra, and from there